Did you know that the success of your song is determined before you even start producing it? If you found yourself giving up on tracks or not being satisfied enough by the quality to want to release it, it is probably because you are not doing a few things before starting to produce that track. So in today's video, I'm going to show you 3 simple steps that you can take to guarantee that you will finish your next tracks and be proud of it. As an example of how important those steps are, the only 2 songs that I am deeply proud of and get me the best results so far in my music career are the 2 songs that I followed those 3 steps to the T. One got placed on 2 Spotify editorial playlists and one got signed by my dream label, which will release in December. As I was saying, it comes down to 3 things. First, there are 3 simple questions to ask yourself before you start a song. Second, you need to analyze reference tracks and I will show you how. And third, you need a game plan. So many of the students coming to my one-on-one coaching sessions are usually stuck in the middle of their tracks, not being able to finish them. And every single time, it comes down to one single problem. They are lacking a vision for their song. If you don't know what you're aiming for, you can't reach it. If you don't have a purpose behind producing your track and you expect it to be a major hit, it's never going to work. It's like trying to hit the bullseye with a blindfold on. It's not possible. So in order to get a vision down for your song before starting it, ask yourself those 3 questions. Number 1, what is the story, emotion, and vibe you want your song to convey? For example, for my upcoming song, I wanted it to be very emotional but uplifting and inspiring, not sad. I also wanted it to be slower, using more organic elements than electronic. And in terms of the story, I wanted to make a song that would make any life partner feel more confident in their relationship, bring some reassurance to them. All this made me choose a minor key, a BPM of 70, and a chord progression that sounded inspiring yet very emotional. Knowing this is also the reason why I chose to use only deep low piano notes to cover the low frequencies, deep end of my song during the first half, instead of the typical Reese bass that you would hear. Number 2, will this song have vocals or is it an instrumental? This is very important to know as it will define how you structure and produce your song. If it's going to have vocals, then you have to leave some space in the frequency spectrum to add those further down the road, whereas if you won't have any vocals, then at some point you will need to have some melodic elements to carry the song throughout its entirety. Number 3, what is the purpose of this song? Streaming platforms, sync placement, beat selling. If you want your song to be on streaming platforms, then you might have to make an intro that will really grab the attention of the listener. If you're aiming to put it up for sale on beat selling platforms, then leave some space for a vocalist or rapper. Or maybe you want to sign it with a very specific label, then you should check the requirements that this label wants before producing it. Answering these 3 questions before creating your song will help you make better decisions afterwards and will also make the production process easier as it will eliminate options, giving you more clarity on what you can use to make a successful song. Have you ever sat down 5 minutes listening to a track taking notes? If not, here's why you should start doing that now. Sure, music doesn't have any rules, but in order to make a successful song, you need to know and understand what makes a great song so you can replicate it in your own productions. Whenever I start a song, I like to gather about 2 to 3 reference tracks and analyzing them. I take notes of the key, BPM, chord progression, vibes, instruments, structure, stereo field, and frequency balance. In order to download the best audio quality file, I use Beatport and then bring the stem into my own DAW and map out the arrangement with markers. Additionally, I like to use La La La, our sponsor today, in order to break out the stems and analyzing them better. All I have to do is to choose what elements I want to separate, let's say the drums for this one, and drag and drop it onto the music file here. Then I download the stem and bring it into my DAW as well. Doing this allows me to focus better on each element that composes the song without being distracted by other instruments or the vocals. For example, if I like the lead sound of one of my reference tracks, I just separate the lead and try to recreate the sound in my own synth, or I just copy the rhythm of the drums using my own sample. La 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 is personally my favorite stem splitter and vocal remover, as their latest algorithm Orion outputs an amazingly clean quality. If you want to use it as well, you will find the link in the description, but for now, let's move on to the last step. Lastly, what I like to do to make sure I finish my song is to set some deadlines and block time in my calendar. It's so easy to get distracted these days that if I don't do this, the next day I'm onto another song or another project. All I do is to use my song tracker Notion template and write down a specific date for each stage that I want it to be done at. For example, if you want to finish one song in 1 month, this could be a great plan to aim for. Use the first week to work on the composition, then the second to do the arrangement, the third for mixing, and the fourth for any feedback notes and a mastering pass. Then, in order to make sure I can reach that goal, I block time in my calendar to make sure that no one can steal my studio time session. Time is what you have the most precious, so protect it. Now that you're ready to produce your song, you can watch this video next where I create a track from start to finish, but in the meantime, keep learning and I'll see you in the next one.